represents the Virginia plan and which part today represents the New Jersey? Go ahead.
Senate represents New Jersey.
Senate represents New Jersey because there's 2 senators per state. Go ahead.
And the House represents Virginia.
And the House represents Virginia because Wyoming has 1 House member, California has 53 in the House, but in the Senate, both of those states only have 2 senators or it's equality. Go ahead, Luhan.
Declaration of
Yes.
Independence.
What was the Declaration of Independence? I believe we've talked about this one within the context of the who's and the what's. Legal justification for separation from Britain. Don't forget the YouTube dealing with Schoolhouse Rock on the Declaration, and the YouTube dealing with the preamble also from Schoolhouse Rock. What other questions have you got from 2?
War powers resolution.
Let's take War Powers Resolution off.
Divided government.
Okay, so I'll leave War Powers Resolution for the 2 o'clock class. Okay. That's what I just heard. So 2 o'clock class, but nobody else.
Not Tuesday, Thursday, right?
Yeah, no, the 2 o'clock class on Monday, Wednesday. Yes, thank you for the clarification. Yes, thank you for the clarification. That was War Powers. I heard another one.
Divided government.
What was divided government?
Splitting the power of the government. Was that it?
Focus on him. Zoom in. Same plus, just zoom in. Divided government. Let's remove divided government. Does the 2 o'clock class on Monday, Wednesday want divided government?
No.
Okay, it sounds like it's unanimous. Other questions from chapter 2? Gotta go. Yes.
What is ERA?
What was the Equal Rights Amendment? Go ahead.
I just said that women can't be discriminated against, and then you can't pass any laws to actually fulfill that discrimination. Oh, never mind.
Go ahead, Elmer.
It was originally intended so women could get equal pay in the workforce.
Ah!
So it was pretty big, so it can be separated for everyone.
This is actually written, and I've got it linked in there under the articles. Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of sex. And what was the key word? Sex really was the key word, or gender on this. And if you remember, the examples that I had given you on this were dealing with pay, Elmer, and you hit it right on the head. This is an excellent example of original intent. If you remember, we talked about original intent as far as interpreting the Constitution. Original intent said you go back and you look at what the founders meant when they wrote it, and then you apply that meaning to now. Well, if you look at the original intent of this, they were dealing primarily with pay issues. They were dealing with equal opportunity issues. But if you think about it, this also could deal with gay marriage. Because if Adam and Eve can get married, but Adam and Steve can't, you're now denying on account of sex or gender. And the argument would be is that gay marriage would have been legal had this passed. Is the Equal Rights Amendment part of the Constitution? No, it is not. So understand, it's a really good example of original intent. Go ahead. No. Okay, anybody else? Questions from chapter 2? Talking about terms. Yes.
Articles in the Constitution.
Articles of the Constitution. You know what? Let's just go ahead and take that one out. Any others?
Now we want to take it out?
You want that for the 2 o'clock class?
He's not the only person to represent.
What is that?
He's not the only one to represent.
Okay, all right, well, you've got to shout him down then. Questions about chapter 2? Go ahead.
Original intent.
We just did original intent. Original intent is the idea that you look at what the framers meant when they wrote it, and then you would apply their meaning to current day examples. And if you remember, the other example that I had given you of original intent was polygamy, yes?
Yeah.
How did they strike down polygamy using original intent of the framers? Only one person has ever gotten this right, and it was Antonio in the 2 o'clock on Tuesday, Thursday. Go ahead, Salsa. The Mormon religion did not exist when they wrote the Constitution, so the founding fathers did not intend to protect that. That's a really good example of original intent, just like the ERA one is. Other questions from chapter 2? Go, Edwin.
Stare decisis?
Stare decisis. What did that literally mean in Latin? Go ahead, Joselle. Let the decision stand. Can you give me examples of let the decision stand? Go ahead, Jerome.
previous judge made a rule on something, then all other judges following him would be the same?
That's right. If you make a ruling, especially a Supreme Court ruling, and then you're faced with a similar case with similar circumstances, future judges should use the reasoning of that earlier decision to deal with the cases in the future. Now, I've given you 2 examples of this. One was abortion. What did we say about abortion with stare decisis?
It's not gonna change.
The longer it's around, the harder it is to overturn.
The longer that the decision remains good law, the more difficult it is to actually overturn this. And abortion has been around for 40 years. Can you think of the example that I gave you that was overturned 1 year later?
The Pledge of Allegiance.
The Pledge of Allegiance, what do you mean?
Um,
What group was this that wouldn't stand for the American flag?
the Jehovah's Witnesses.
The Jehovah's Witnesses wouldn't stand for the flag. And if you remember what happened, there was an argument that the school made. Why did the school want to make them stand?
For respect.
Respect, citizenship, these kinds of things, patriotism, these kinds of things, general attributes. They weren't trying to change somebody's religion, they're just trying to teach values. If you remember on this, what was the Jehovah's Witness argument?
They don't
They can't-
believe in
They
it.
don't idolize
They
symbols.
don't believe in it.
What's that, Catholic Anna?
Wasn't it like they didn't want to give like their allegiance, I guess? Like
Pledge allegiance to worldly bodies in its most basic sense. And they said this is a violation of our First Amendment. What happened in the original court case? The Jehovah's Witness kids were suspended. They sued because they felt like their religious rights had been violated. And the court said this isn't a religious ceremony at all. This is about citizenship, about education. It's about respect for the law, about patriotism. Because the Cold War was going on. What happened to the kids? Did they stand after they lost the case?
No.
What happened to them?
They got it.
What's that? They got their ass beat? Is that what? Yeah, I thought so. You go, gangsta. Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, and when you look back on this, number 1, there was tarring and feathering. They were beaten up. What was the third thing that really made the guys squirm?
Emasculate?
They got castrated, in fact. And 1 year later on Flag Day, the court caught a lot of flack over this because these kids getting beaten up, and the court overturned this case. Court overturned this case. And the difference is that just like you had said, Kendra, at the beginning, the longer that a case remains valid or good law, the less likely it's ever to be overturned. Abortion's not going to be overturned anytime soon. But if you catch it within a year, like they did with the flag salute cases, that's why you don't have to stand today. Other questions from Chapter 2? Go ahead, Muhan.
Amendment fractions.
Amendment fractions were 2/3 to propose and 3/4 to ratify. Other questions from Chapter 2? Yes, Catholic Anna.
what was the ERA?
What's that?
What was the ERA?
That one took some time. It's in the film. So we've gone over ERA. Yeah, that one's in there. So let me move on from that one. Any others?
Do we have all the articles of chapter?
Well, let's look at the articles from Chapter 2. Y'all remember land grab?
Yeah.
What was land grab?
There was 4 people on the land, and they wanted to kick them out to build a luxurious hotel that'll make more taxes for the city.
Yeah, basically what you had is you had a developer, and this was up in New London, Connecticut. New London, Connecticut Land Development Corporation. They basically went and they said that what exactly did they want to build?
Hotel.
Hotels, anything else?
Luxury condos.
Malls, luxury condos. They wanted to build restaurants. And I'm trying to think, who was the person that had the expensive scarves?
Sarah?
Yeah, I was thinking, Salsa, it was you. Yeah, the person that had the expensive scarves and wanted the cheesecake and all of these other things. When you look back at this, they're saying that we can create jobs, we can create tax revenue, we can create a place where people can come and spend their money and enjoy it. The poor people, what was the argument there? What were they going to make them do?
Leave. But they were going to pay them for what it's worth at the time instead of what it could be worth.
What a reasonable person would pay. And I believe, Kendra, let's say that you've been married 3 or 4 times and had an accidental child and some other things as well. Are they going to pay you for those memories?
No.
What are they going to pay you for?
What it's worth.
The wood and the pipes and the bricks and the grass and all of these other things. Are you really going to get your money's worth on this? Are you going to be able to live in this new development?
No.
Where would you be forced, do you think, to live?
Another poverty.
Somewhere pretty far away. And so there were some problems with this. Is it legal to force these people using eminent domain? Why? Why did they say that there was a public purpose involved?
it benefits the area overall, the country overall, because it provides jobs and brings more income.
Jobs, tax revenues. And if you've got more tax revenues, when you think about it, property taxes, income taxes, sales taxes, then guess what? You're now going to have better roads, better police protection, better fire protection. And yes, it was illegal. They did order them to sell. So you can give this
Do the eminent what?
eminent domain.
Yeah.
Eminent domain. Other articles, not the president's call. This was a quickie. What was the story with not the president's call? Declaring war. Who has the power to declare war?
Congress.
For some reason, people miss this on every single exam. Congress has the ability to declare war. Don't laugh when people miss it
The
again.
president can take it to court, right, or veto it. What, isn't it something like where?
He's
if
the 90
president
day
doesn't
thing.
agree,
The president has the power.
I've removed war powers resolution from everyone except the 2 o'clock class on Monday, Wednesday, but it sounds like the Tuesday, Thursday at
No.
12:30 wants it too. Okay, all right, we'll just drop that then. The Rutgers article. The Rutgers article is the one, this one is a tougher one, and if I do give you this one, it's going to be short answer. But there was another article that was on the Rutgers article, I believe, that dealt with porn.
Child porn.
How'd the child porn law work?
Oh, you can't have anybody who looks like a child acting in child porn either, because it,
Wait, they can't look like a child?
No.
I believe I've seen some movies where they look like child.
I don't know.
Not that I do that on a routine basis. Not that I do that on a routine basis. How did the child porn law work? Anybody? Go ahead, Joe.
Modify yourself to look like a child.
Modify yourself. You mean have a ponytail or wear knee socks or have a plaid skirt?
You read?
Don't say me.
Plastic surgery.
Digital remastering.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is that you, and understand, child porn, and I had asked y'all this, what is child porn? And the simple answer is if somebody is under 18 that's in one of these films, or multiple people that are under 18, whether they're with another young person or an older one. Yes?
Our class does not like all four of those.
Yeah, we didn't do this.
Are you sure?
I'm more than sure.
No, I think we did.
No, we didn't.
I'm trying to remember who was, Deborah, do you remember this?
We didn't do child porn.
Okay, I guess I'll do it at 12:30. Actually, we'll cover it right now. Yeah! We're going to cover it right now. The law says on this, basically the law says is number one, child porn, the thought is that it's somebody that's under 18. Okay, if you digitally remaster yourself to look younger, or if you digitally remaster yourself to look older, that is illegal. That's the bottom line. So, for example, if you did the ponytail and the knee socks and the plaid skirt, that's fine because it's still you. It's just props. But if you digitally remaster yourself to make yourself look incredibly older or younger, that's a problem because somebody would really think that you might be a child, which indeed would endanger the children that are in the neighborhood, the area, this kind of thing. So that's what they did there. But that's all the child porn one is. So that probably means that somebody in the 12:30 class is digitally remastered. Spying on students. Let's nix that one. The spying on students article was the one that was dealing, well, we're nixing it, so don't worry about it, but it was dealing with the laptops in Philadelphia. Okay, let's nix that one. Other questions from articles. What's that?
Can you tell us real quick which one's your next?
Yeah, spying on students is the article that I'm nixing.
That's the only one?
That's the only one so far, yeah. And then the last one up here was the webcams. Do you remember the webcams?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want to talk about it? What? The webcams were from the school?
Oh,
That's the laptops. Go ahead, Salsa.
There was also the strip searches though. No?
Okay, so you want the strip searches too? Strip search was the one, yeah, the strip, what did the strip search article say?
That's a court approved DNA swabs for people.
That's right. You know what, I need to make sure that I've got that one added. The strip search article was the one that basically said that if police took you into custody, they had the right to strip search you even if it was not a non-violent, or I'm sorry, even if it was a non-violent situation, and that case dealt specifically with parking tickets. Yeah, that's right, and they did it out of safety for the officers. They also did it out of safety for the other inmates that were there. What was the webcam article? Go ahead.
One where their insurance companies put cameras in
Oh,
cars.
driving.
That's